you open a big can of worms when you're selling used electronics. There's a lot of liability there. There are some people that will try to take advantage of you online and
All the time.
and
Yeah.
exploit the systems to get free stuff or get money back or returns. So you have to do everything to cover yourself.
Starting with the e-waste and reselling online for graphics cards that work or RAM that works. What are some good, easy tricks and trade platforms you can use? Obviously, eBay is one of them. How do you manage your titles? How do you manage your descriptions? What's your return policy? Where do you see better returns on eBay? Is it offering free shipping? Can you get into that, the resell a little bit?
Yeah. Yeah. So on the resale side, throughout the years, I've done it all. I've done marketplace. I even started off selling on Mercari.
I remember
They're like,
those
man,
days.
oh yeah, these laptops are good. Why make $5 scrap when you can make 100 resale?
Right.
That's something to always consider. Mercari was good. eBay's obviously, eBay owns the market. They make it hard. Like they'll always side with the buyer, which is
Yeah.
unfortunate. But
Yeah.
but you have to do eBay regardless. And this comes back to the marketing side. You want to learn what keywords do I need. You don't really need to put a massive paragraph on a used electronic because no one's going to read all that, in my opinion.
Right. Right.
The the core, the core components. Okay, it's an i5 fifth gen or whatever. You want to be specific because you open a big can of worms when you're selling used electronics. So you
Yeah.
leave, there's a lot of liability there. And I don't like to be pessimistic, but there are some people that will try to take advantage of you online and
All the time.
and
Yeah.
exploit the systems to get free stuff or get money back or returns. So you have to do everything to cover yourself. So
hmm
describe everything, even if there's freaking nicks on the screen, anything.
Yeah. Right.
Photos of everything, have photos of the serial number on the sticker so they can't swap out your components. You just want to protect yourself, and that's with any business you run. So then you want to go into testing. And again, it depends on your business model. If you want to be selling stuff untested, there's different ways to look at it and approach it.
Well, what would you recommend?
Oh man, it really depends. With I've entered a whole different market being here with Adonis because being R2B3, you can't sell anything untested. I mean, everything has to be tested. So unless you sell to a vetted
hmm
vendor that states and signs agreements showing, okay, we will not throw this away if it doesn't work. It will get recycled
hmm
and returned. So there's balances there. To me, I would rather have something tested and good to go, so I know it is good. So I'm not just selling a mystery item. But
hmm
times too, when you are new and you gotta do what you gotta do. So I'm not saying be deceitful, but you publicly state on an item and just
Right.
come back to the description, be clear as day so there's no questions about what your customer or client is receiving. So just describe everything, have a million
Right.
photos, CYA, cover your ass. So
hmm Sure. When I got started, I had so much material, it was really hard to manage it and sell it all. So I had to go untested. And I would just love it when people would be like, oh my God, it worked. Like, I'm selling this untested. It is what it is. You're taking a gamble. I was as honest as it was. And they would leave feedback like, I just got 3 laptops that totally work. Now that I have some help with labor, we are testing more and trying not to leave that money on the table. But it's kind of like an under promise, over deliver kind of thing with the untested stuff. We
well,
still sell untested all day though.
that's awesome. Yeah, well, sometimes you just gotta do what you gotta do too. You have to assess because again, we still get a ton of stuff that we recycle, but we don't have the manpower and really the capacity
hmm
to set up testing procedures for all these different things. As much as I'd love to resell every single item, which technically most items do have a resale market, but then it comes
hmm
down to okay, how long is that item going to be sitting for? Because you have to value your space, and then is it worth sitting for that long?
Right.
Like how much profit are you really making on that item? You just have to find your niche market and what you're going to be reselling until you have a crew and have a full blown operation that
hmm
take people to different items.
What sells well in your experience? What needs little testing sells well? What are some items to kind of be on the lookout for?
Honestly, the ones that required very little touching or normally worked most of the time from my experience, or was audio equipment like audio receivers and whatnot. They were normally always good, always tested out fine. Never had ones that didn't work. Laptops, obviously are going to have more potential issues because there's a lot of different things that could go wrong with it. So,
And you got to take off the data and all that stuff, you
oh
know?
yeah, 100%. Yeah,
Yeah.
actually, can't. That's definitely you're asking for a lawsuit, selling people's
Right.
data. So that's another big aspect too of this is you got to take people's data seriously. I've had some people come in or they'll drill the hard drive, but then they'll miss their platter. The hard drive
Right.
platter, then your
I've
data's
seen
still
that.
on there, sir. Like they want to watch you destroy it on spy, which is a little odd, but some people are just real strange. I'm like,
Yeah.
what
I
do you got on there?
Yeah, I've had a couple folks be real aggressive about destroying it, and like I don't even want to know what's on it. I'm not in the business to go through everyone's stuff. You know what I mean? But we have thought about setting up a live stream camera just that shows destruction of hard drives, but we don't have the volume for it.
Well,
We
yes.
had to turn off residential waste while we're looking for a new place. You know?
Right. So that's actually an extra service we do provide is so anytime we run hard drives through a hard drive shredder, we literally have the guy, the employee will do this with the hard drive serial number and then the video will
Hmm.
show put it in the shredder. Because some clients, per the contracts, they have to have visual evidence of the
Oh,
drives being
okay,
destroyed. Because
right.
technically at
That's
the end of the
interesting.
day, you could just type up a template and say, "Oh yeah, we destroyed those 3 hard drives," you know. So some clients are more picky.
As far as just wrapping up, I really do want to talk about where you think the future of e-waste is going and maybe talk about some trends that haven't developed yet. You got your ears to the ground and you're in it every day. Where do you see this industry going?
I mean, it's like I said before, it's the absolute gold rush, man. I think if you haven't gotten on, now is the time to do it because it will be too late if you wait a few years from now. Because again, there's a lot of outside investments being poured into the industry because they see the value.
Hmm.
There's a lot of companies, a lot of Joe Schmo guys, like in the Facebook groups that we're in, getting into it because they see people on social media doing it, and even media outlets are starting to talk about it more too. So there's
Yeah, I saw that.
it's getting big, man. And I think it's going to be huge, and it's critical too. I don't know the actual statistics on it, but I feel like we would be close to getting rid of most of our precious metals if we haven't been recycling all this constantly because we have a finite amount of metals on Earth.
Sure.
Like it's very essential. I think we're getting more into a resale or a reusable market because
Hmm.
resale is getting bigger and bigger. I think just due to not to get political, but just the current economic state of things.
Hmm. Sure.
So people want to be able to save money while still getting quality material. So I think a lot of companies, and I've seen this in the St. Louis region, people are turning more towards the ITAD side because they want to be able to resell items. Again, it comes down to like, why
Right.
would I $5 scrap when I can make $100?
Yeah. Yeah. No
Any
kidding.
any guy who likes money will agree to that. I think the industry is turning more towards the resale side. I would definitely say that because I've seen several companies just in the St. Louis area. They only focused on the scrap side. Now they've established complete ITAD teams. They
Hmm.
purchase stuff for resale price because that's another aspect of value you can provide to your client, right? Because a lot of times people know their stuff's worth something, but they don't know what. So if you're
Hmm.
reselling a company ABC's laptops for $50 a piece, maybe give them 10 to $20 back instead of giving them only a couple bucks for scrap value. So that's another tidbit of value because you want to secure your client. You don't want them just to hop on to, oh, well, this guy was giving me a couple bucks more. You want to lock your
Right.
client in. They want to feel valued. They want to know that you take care of them. So that's another way to do that. But yeah, definitely resale though. That's where the market's going, in my opinion. And
Okay.
from what I'm perceiving, I think it's going to be huge at the next, 5 to 10 years for sure. I think the overall government's goal too is to ship less overseas.
Yep.
Also, there's a lot of commercial activity heading towards that too. There's a new place coming up down in like Georgia or some southern state. There's going to be a new stateside refinery being built too. So there's a lot of new
Nice. Nice.
because so. And here's the thing too: when you hear people say they're smelting circuit boards, they're lying because EPA doesn't allow it because of the fiberglass. So that's why a lot of it's shipped overseas. There are recovery processes here in the States, but it's not how it is overseas. That's where a lot of e-waste
Right.
gets shipped over there. There's a lot of activity though. They just built a new battery recycling facility called like Mineral Recovery in Fredericktown, Missouri, just a little south of me. That's going to be
Hmm.
a big one for EV batteries and other lithium
Yeah.
style
They're
batteries. That's a
building a massive one in Bowling Green. And I'm talking about when we drive by it on the interstate, because it's right by the interstate 65 north, it is like 100 Walmarts put
damn.
together.
And it's,
It
I
is
mean,
so big.
it's going to be big, man. And yeah, lithium batteries is a big, big thing.
Yeah,
And
that's a whole nother conversation. Like,
yeah,
where's lithium batteries? And I don't know enough about them.
I hate dealing with them. I've had lots of fires. That's like the number one reason for fires from any recycling
Hmm.
facility is batteries, or at least lithium, because it's so flammable.
Hmm.
So that's something
Yeah.
to add in at least. It's just whenever you're handling it, you want to make sure safety is put involved too. Don't just focus on money, because I've seen a lot of dumb people in those groups too. Just do a lot of careless things and putting your health and safety and health.
Hmm.
Don't be burning copper wire. That's for once illegal in
Yeah.
most places. Like you're
God.
defeating the purpose of recycling by
You're
destroying it.
right. Right. Right.
So things like that, use PPE when you're handling certain material.
Yep.
always tape your battery terminals, because all it takes is one lithium battery to be punctured, and then it'll ignite, and or two terminals to touch from two different batteries
Right.
to ignite also. I've seen
Right.
both of them. So it's
Damn.
lithium smells
Yeah.
nasty, and it doesn't require oxygen to burn. So it's considered a chemical
Wow.
fire. So
Wow.
just putting the cover on a metal barrel ain't gonna stop it. So you have to
No.
have special
No.
chemicals and things to stop it from burning. I
And
think
we
for
use the
people that
oil.
oh
We
yep.
the little disc oil.
Yep. We use this material you can get on Uline. It's called vermiculite. We
Yeah.
put all of our bloated batteries in it,
Okay. Good to
and that
know.
will
Yeah,
help.
we don't
That'll
have
help
that.
prevent it. Yeah, it's like a sand sawdust type
Okay.
material, but yeah, it helps prevent the fires from starting and spreading. So it's pretty neat.
Perfect.
But and that was something I learned from coming to this company, and then learning later on. That's what all the big players use on how to properly secure
Manage
it.
it.
So yeah, it's not
Yeah.
expensive. So
Cool. Good to know. I wrote it
yeah.
down. Man, well,
Uh,
I really appreciate your time on this.
yeah, and anything else you need, man, always reach out. It's no problem at all. I love helping. And yeah,
Yeah,
it's been a
same
long,
here.
interesting ride, man. I love it though. I wouldn't change a thing.
If you come across something I can
Yeah.
help with, I know it's mutual.
Well, I'm a firm believer in, and this is any business. You should always scratch each other's back, because again, there's only 18% of this shit's recycled. There's enough bread for all of us to eat in this.
It's
Like,
nuts, man.
there's no
It's
reason to
nuts.
be cutthroat and try to steal each other's and just silly stuff. There's enough for
Right.
everyone to be successful in this industry.